It started with a gift certificate, a simple Mother's Day present from our kids, 3 massage sessions at Harmony Haven, the new wellness center in our quiet suburb. I gave it to Tom instead. You need it more, I told him. All that tension from work. Looking back, I should have seen the signs, all the little changes. But sometimes the most obvious clues are the ones closest to home. My name is Lisa Thompson. Until 6 months ago, I was living what most would call the American dream. 20 years of marriage, 2 teenagers, a beautiful colonial in Cedar Grove Estates, and a husband who still brought me coffee every morning. Tom was the breadwinner, a regional manager at Myers and Powell Investment Group. I ran my small interior design business from home, managed the kids' schedules, and kept our lives running smoothly. We were that couple everyone envied. High school sweethearts who still held hands at church. Our daughter Emma was heading to Yale in the fall, following in her father's footsteps. Our son Michael was the star quarterback, just like Tom had been 25 years ago. We hosted the neighborhood barbecues, chaired the PTA meetings, led the church fundraisers. Perfect lives, perfect family, perfect facade. Mum, Dad's acting weird again, Emma said one morning, watching her father humming while making breakfast. She was right. Tom had changed since starting his weekly appointments at Harmony Haven. But wasn't that good? The constant neck pain that had plagued him for years seemed better. The stress lines around his eyes had softened. He'd even started working out. I remember the first time I noticed something was truly different. It was a Tuesday evening, and Tom was packing his gym bag for his Wednesday appointment. Except, this gym bag was new, sleek, expensive leather I'd never seen before. When I asked about it, he brushed it off. Just treating myself, he said. The spa offers a whole lifestyle program. Then came the cascade of changes. New clothes. Not just any clothes, but designer brands he'd never cared about before. Premium cologne that replaced his usual aftershave. Later working hours that stretched past dinner time. A locked phone that used to lay open on our kitchen counter. Mysterious texts that made him leave the room to respond. Growing distance that felt like a physical wall between us. New business meetings that never appeared on his office calendar. Fresh gym clothes in his car that never seemed to get used. Weekend client calls that he took in our garage. The text messages started innocently enough. Sorry, honey, can't make dinner. Extra stress today. Need my appointment. Don't wait up. Deep tissue work, running late. Doctor, Angela says I need an extra session this week. These stress relief sessions became sacred. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m., without fail. Even our son's championship game couldn't compete with Dr. Angela's schedule. You don't understand, Tom had said, his voice strange and distant. These sessions are crucial for my well-being. I might have let it go on forever, convinced I was just being paranoid. Until that day in Target, when I overheard 2 women in the makeup aisle, Susan Parker and Joan Miller, both from my Tuesday book club. Did you hear about Janet's husband? Another one. That's the 3rd divorce this month. All clients at that new spa. That can't be a coincidence. Did you notice they all changed at the same time? Same patterns. And those gift certificates, all from the same school fundraiser. My blood ran cold. The patterns became impossible to ignore. 6 divorces in our neighborhood in 4 months. All husbands were Harmony Haven clients. All treated by the mysterious Dr. Angela. All showed the same behavior changes. All ended in brutal divorces. All involved substantial financial losses. All had started with those same Mother's Day gift certificates. The gift certificates. Every divorced wife had received one. From the same source. Through the same school fundraiser our kids had participated in. The same fundraiser that Tom had suddenly taken an intense interest in organizing. I did what any worried wife would do. I booked my own appointment with Dr. Angela. But when I arrived for my session, the young receptionist looked confused, almost frightened. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Thompson. We don't have any doctor. Angela on staff. We've never had a doctor. Angela." Yet every Wednesday I watched my husband walk through those doors. Every Wednesday he came out relaxed, refreshed, and somehow further away from me. And every Wednesday another piece of our perfect life seemed to slip away. I wasn't just imagining things. Our neighbor Beth, a retired detective who'd worked high-profile cases in Boston, had noticed too. "Something's not right about that place," she said one evening, watching another marriage in our cul-de-sac crumble. "Those aren't normal massage sessions, and those aren't normal client notes they're keeping." She was right, because what we discovered in our investigation would shake our entire community. Dr. Angela wasn't just a massage therapist. Those weren't just stress relief sessions. And the gift certificates, they were just the beginning of a plan so sophisticated, so carefully orchestrated, that it would eventually reveal a truth about our quiet suburb that none of us were prepared to face. But before I tell you what we found in that sparse basement, you need to understand how it all connected. How one woman managed to tear apart dozens of marriages while building something much more sinister. And why, despite everything that happened, some of our husbands still defend her. This is the story of how a simple gift certificate exposed a web of manipulation that would destroy not just my marriage, but an entire community's trust. And why stress relief would never mean the same thing in Cedar Grove again. The thing about living in a small town like Cedar Grove is that secrets have a way of surfacing, usually during Saturday morning coffee at Marlene's Diner. That's where Beth, my retired detective neighbor, laid out what she'd discovered about Harmony Haven. Between bites of blueberry pancakes and sips of black coffee, a pattern emerged that would change everything. 7 divorces in 4 months isn't just bad luck, Beth said, spreading out her notes on the Formica table. It's a pattern, and patterns are never accidents. 25 years in Boston homicide had taught her that much. Her kitchen table had become our war room, covered in documents, photographs, and red string connecting the dots. Beth had been doing more than just watching. She'd been documenting everything. Credit card statements showing mysterious charges at odd hours, bank transfers to offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands, burner phones found in husbands' cars during routine cleaning, changed passwords on joint accounts and retirement funds, new gym memberships at places their wives had never seen, late-night business meetings that their offices had no record of, strange receipts for hotel rooms in neighboring towns, unusual withdrawals from college savings accounts, new safety deposit boxes their wives knew nothing about. "Look at this," Beth said, pointing to a timeline she'd created. Every husband started changing exactly 3 weeks after their first appointment. Not 2 weeks, not 4. Always 3. That's not coincidence, that's conditioning. But it was the photograph that broke the case wide open. Beth slid it across the table, careful to avoid the coffee stains. It showed Dr. Angela, or whoever she was, leaving the spa late one night. She was carrying a laptop and what looked like client files. But it wasn't her leaving that was strange. It was where she went. The photo showed her entering the back door of Myers and Powell Investment Group, Tom's company, at 11:45 p.m. on a Sunday. When the building should have been empty, security cameras showed she stayed for exactly 47 minutes, every Sunday, for the past 3 months. That's when the pieces started falling into place. Every divorced husband worked in finance or banking. All had access to sensitive client information. Each had made unusual investment decisions before their divorce. Their companies had suffered mysterious data breaches. Stock portfolios had been emptied or transferred. Client lists had disappeared. Security protocols had been bypassed, all after starting therapy at Harmony Haven. But here's what really bothers me, Beth said, pulling out her old case notebook. These men aren't just losing their marriages, they're losing their memories. Jack Miller couldn't remember his wedding anniversary during divorce proceedings. Steve Parker forgot his daughter's middle name. It's like they're being reprogrammed. Sharon Miller's story confirmed our worst fears. Her husband Jack, another spa regular, had been acting strange for weeks. Then one night, she followed him to his appointment. What she saw would become the key to everything. He didn't go to the spa, Sharon told us, her hands shaking around her coffee cup. He went to this warehouse on the edge of town. There were others there, other husbands. They were all carrying folders, USB drives, like some kind of exchange. But the strange part, they all moved the same way, spoke the same way. Like they were programmed, Beth finished. The warehouse changed everything. Beth's research revealed disturbing details. Owned by a shell company named Serenity Solutions LLC, registered to someone named Angela Petrova. Connected to similar operations in 3 other states. Linked to mysterious medical supply shipments. Regular deliveries of unmarked packages. Strange electrical usage patterns. Weekly meetings that coincided with spa appointments. Security cameras that never seemed to record anything. The name, Angela Petrova, opened a door we couldn't close. Internet searches revealed a pattern. 3 other spas in 3 other towns, each followed by waves of divorces. Financial institutions compromised. Mass data breaches. Insider trading investigations. Mysterious bankruptcies. Men who couldn't remember their pasts. Families destroyed overnight. Every spa was within 5 miles of a major financial institution. Every divorced husband had access to sensitive data. Every company had suffered a major security breach within 6 months of her arrival. But the real question was, why Cedar Grove? Why our quiet suburb? Then came the text that would change everything. Tom's phone, left unlocked on the kitchen counter while he showered. Tomorrow night. Same place. Bring the files. Last exchange before phase 2. The pieces were there. But the picture they formed was almost too terrifying to contemplate. Beth's eyes met mine across the diner table. Lisa, she said quietly, I don't think this is just about marriages or money. Those men, I think they're being conditioned, programmed. The massages, the therapy, the stress relief. It's all a cover for something bigger, something worse. I had a choice to make. Confront Tom? Tell Beth? Go to the police? But then Sharon mentioned something that changed everything. Something about the sparse basement. About strange sounds late at night. About encrypted computers and a room that was always locked. About husbands who went in smiling and came out different. What I did next would either save my marriage or destroy it completely. But I never expected to discover what was really happening in that basement, or why my husband and dozens of others were willing to risk everything for their weekly appointments. Because the truth about Harmony Haven wasn't just about marriages or money, or even espionage. It was about something far more dangerous. Something that would make international headlines and change suburban life forever. Breaking into your own husband's phone shouldn't feel natural. But after 20 years of marriage, I knew Tom's patterns. 4 digits, always our anniversary. Except this time it wasn't. The new password was a date I didn't recognize. May 17th, 2022. The day of his first appointment at Harmony Haven. What I found made my blood run cold. Encrypted messaging apps I'd never seen before. Photos of documents from his company. Bank statements for accounts I didn't know existed. Calendar entries with coded locations. Contacts listed only by initials. Voice memos in a language that wasn't English. A message flashed. Weekly maintenance required. Report to basement level 3 for recalibration. Beth's police instincts had been right. This wasn't just about massages or affairs. The sparse basement held something darker, but getting in wouldn't be easy. Security cameras covered every entrance, and the basement door had a keypad lock we'd never seen in a spa before. "Leave it to me," Sharon said, adjusting her cleaning service uniform. After losing Jack to whatever was happening at Harmony Haven, she'd managed to get hired as their evening cleaner. Just be ready at midnight. That's when they do whatever they do down there. What we discovered that night would haunt me forever. A state-of-the-art medical facility, hidden behind massage rooms. Advanced monitoring equipment tracking vital signs. Screens showing behavioral patterns and neural responses. Files detailing psychological manipulation techniques. Video feeds from inside supposedly private massage rooms. Chemical formulas for compounds I couldn't pronounce. And most disturbing, recordings of our husbands' sessions. "This isn't a spa," Beth whispered, photographing documents. "It's a conditioning center." The truth was worse than we imagined. Dr. Angela, real name Dr. Angela Petrova, wasn't just a massage therapist. She was a former military psychologist specializing in behavioral modification. The spa was her laboratory, and our husbands were her subjects. Security footage showed the process. Week 1 to 2. Build trust through legitimate massage therapy. Week 3 to 4. Introduce subtle psychological conditioning. Week 5 to 6. Begin chemical treatments through aromatherapy. Week 7 to 8. Implement deep programming during relaxation. Week 9 to 10. Test subject compliance with small tasks. Week 11 to 12. Full behavioral control achieved. The basement held more horrors. Psychological profiles of every client. Detailed maps of local financial institutions, lists of access codes and security protocols. Dossiers on wives and families. Step-by-step manipulation guides. Chemical compounds designed to increase suggestibility. Equipment for something called neural repatterning. Then we heard voices. Dr. Angela and Tom. "The program is nearly complete," she was saying. "Phase 2 begins tomorrow. Are the accounts ready for transfer?" Tom's voice was flat, emotionless. "All prepared. The others have been recalibrated. No one suspects." We hid behind medical equipment as they passed. Tom's eyes were glazed, his movements mechanical. This wasn't my husband anymore. This was someone else. Something else. Dr. Angela's voice echoed. Remember, if anyone asks questions, I will redirect their attention, Tom responded robotically. The program must be protected. The documents revealed their true plan. Use husband's financial access to siphon billions. Create a network of compromised executives, establish control over major institutions, expand to other suburban communities, build a nationwide web of influence. Test new behavioral modification techniques. Create an army of willing subjects. But there was something else, something worse. In Dr. Angela's private office, we found files labeled Phase 3, plans for expanding beyond financial targets, political figures already under their influence, military contracts pending approval, research into mass behavioral modification, designs for larger facilities in other cities, lists of potential high-value targets, protocols for community-wide implementation. Oh God, Beth breathed, reading the documents. This isn't just about money or marriages. They're building something bigger. A network of controlled individuals in positions of power. And Cedar Grove is just their test run. Then we found the failsafe protocol. What happened to subjects who began to resist the conditioning? The medical files made me sick. Memory manipulation procedures. Personality erasure protocols. Chemical reset procedures. Neural pathway. Restructuring. Complete identity rebuilding. Backup programming sequences. Termination procedures for failed subjects. Red lights began flashing. A computer voice announced, "Security breach detected. Implementing containment protocol." We had minutes to escape, but I couldn't leave without copying the files. The world needed to know. Our community needed to know. I had to save Tom, if there was anything left of him to save. What happened next would change everything, because in those final moments in the basement, we discovered something that would shake the foundations of not just Cedar Grove, but the entire nation. Red lights pulsed through the basement as Beth, Sharon, and I raced through the maze of hidden medical equipment. But it wasn't the guards we were running from. It was the sound of our husband's footsteps, moving in perfect synchronization, coming to contain the security breach. "You have to see this," Beth called, yanking me into a side room. On a central monitor, security feeds showed dozens of men entering the spa's front door. Our neighbors, our friends, our community leaders, all moving with the same robotic precision, all responding to some silent command. The truth hit like a physical blow. The CEO of Cedar Grove, National Bank, the police chief, 3 city council members, the high school principal, the head of emergency services, all programmed, all controlled, all part of Dr. Angela's network. But it was the final document that revealed everything. A single page marked Project Echo. Cedar Grove. Selected for initial trial. Population size ideal. Community structure perfect for implementation. When Phase 3 succeeds here, the program goes national. First the suburbs, then the cities. A perfect network of compliance. The monitor flashed with more revelations. Similar spas opening in 50 other communities. Political figures already compromised. Military contracts worth billions. Intelligence agencies involved. Corporate takeovers planned. Media control protocols. Mass conditioning strategies. "Mum?" Emma's voice crackled through Beth's police radio. Our daughter had been our backup, watching from the car. "There's something wrong. Dad's here, but he's not alone. All the men from the neighborhood. They're all walking toward the spa. Like zombies." That's when Dr. Angela's voice came over the spa's speaker system. "Impressive, Lisa. Most wives don't make it this far. But then, most wives don't have a retired detective for a neighbor. Don't worry about Tom. He's happier now. They all are. No more stress, no more decisions, no more moral dilemmas. Just perfect compliance. The basement screens showed her true operation, behavioral modification perfected through massage, neural reprogramming disguised as relaxation, chemical compliance through aromatherapy, memory manipulation through guided meditation, identity erasure through deep tissue work, complete psychological reconstruction, a perfect system of control. But Dr. Angela had made one crucial mistake. In all her perfect planning, she'd forgotten something essential about suburban communities, something she couldn't control or program or modify. The women of Cedar Grove. While their husbands were being programmed, we'd been watching, planning, connecting. That night, as Dr. Angela's subjects converged on the spa, so did the state police, called by Beth, FBI cybercrimes unit, alerted by computer anomalies. CDC hazmat teams, tracking unauthorized chemical shipments. National Guard, responding to domestic terrorism threats. News crews, tipped off by Sharon's daughter. Federal prosecutors, following money trails. Intelligence agencies, monitoring Project Echo. You see, Angela, I spoke into the security system she'd used to taunt us. While you were busy programming our husbands, you never noticed their wives. The book clubs, prayer circles, PTA meetings. We weren't just trading recipes. We were comparing notes, building evidence, preparing. The raid took less than an hour. 47 men in need of deprogramming, 23 international conspirators arrested, 15 corrupt officials exposed, 8 similar facilities shut down nationwide, 3 intelligence agencies compromised, 1 massive conspiracy revealed. But the real work was just beginning. Months of therapy for the affected men. Neural repair procedures, memory recovery sessions, family counseling, community healing, trust rebuilding, marriage reconstruction. Tom's recovery was the hardest. Flashbacks to programming sessions, guilt over compromised information, terror at lost memories, grief for lost time, struggle to reconnect. Fear of being controlled. Journey to find himself again. 1 year later, Cedar Grove looks normal again. The spa building was demolished. A community garden grows there now. Every Saturday, former clients tend to their plots, rebuilding connections along with growing vegetables. Healing happens in small moments. Family dinners where phones are welcome at the table. Couples therapy sessions that bring laughter. Children learning to trust their fathers again. Wives and husbands rediscovering each other. Community events that feel genuine again. Trust rebuilt. 1 day at a time, Dr. Angela Petrova's trial revealed a conspiracy reaching into the highest levels of government. But her testimony exposed something else. Fear. Fear of suburban strength. Fear of community bonds. Fear of what happens when you underestimate the power of ordinary people watching out for each other. The Cedar Grove files are now used to train FBI agents about domestic terrorism. Our story is taught in psychology classes as a warning about manipulation and control. But in our community, we teach a different lesson. Sometimes the biggest threats don't come from outside our communities, but from things we invite in. Sometimes the most dangerous predators are the ones offering relief from our daily stresses. And sometimes the strongest weapon against evil isn't force or power. It's simply paying attention to the people we love. Today, there's a plaque in our community garden. It reads, "Growing stronger together." Below it, someone added, "Trust your instincts. Question your comfort. Protect your minds. And if you're ever in a small suburban town and see a new spa offering amazing deals on stress relief, look carefully at their client notes. If this dark truth shook you, there are more secrets waiting to be exposed. Hit subscribe and turn on all notifications now to join Dark Truth Archives, where secrets come to light. Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what truths you want uncovered next. New stories every week, because some secrets can't stay hidden forever. Dark Truth Archives, where every shadow holds a story.